Yep, okay, everything should be up and running. If it's not, then that's a bit awkward. I even remembered to use the correct layout this time. Where we left off last time, we had just gotten to I want to say the midsection of the fight versus Lupus, where the party were essentially intending to the team set up by Penton were planning to essentially kick the crap out of Lupus to figure out and get him to basically spill the beans on why he is withholding information about the Red Sage heirloom. And we had gotten a fair way through the encounter, aka we were on round 2, when the party went on the offensive, and Lupus started fighting back with the same level of ferocity, aka Astra went, "You die now," and then half of Lupus's health bar disappeared.
Ugly bitch.
Yeah, you are.
Hold up.
So, where we'd left off, Astra and Penton had taken their turns. Marianne and Diana were on the floor, and it was between Ankh and Lilac as to who moves next. So Ankh is basically going to look at Astra, look at Penton, and through the telepathy you hear, "So I'm presuming this is the point where I'm going to have to do the things that I need to do."
Yeah.
And so, what is going to happen? Lilac is going to start this off by using... Lilac is going to start off by using 2 dual cast full cures. Wait, is it 2 dual cast? No. 2 full... yeah, dual casting full cure as his first action. Bringing Marianne and Diana back up to full health. So that is... basically just type in your max health number, and there you go. And then the second dual cast, which is going to be full cure on Astra, and then, where is it? And then auto cure on himself. Lilac is then going to prepare himself mentally for what's about to happen as Ankh, using the runic amp effect he has on him. If he doesn't have it, then he's going to use it. Proceeds to jump directly over to Lupus, purposefully directly over to the Guildmaster, who proceeds to immediately panic. If memory serves correctly, Penton does have auto raise still, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Lupus, seeing that this is as Ankh is moving through the air, pole arm in one hand, the other hand reaching to basically grab hold of Lupus. Lupus consumes his final reaction to, to cast Moonlight Arrow aimed at Penton. Oh shit!
Cover? Can I cover?
This is not one that I'm going to allow you to cover.
Balls.
I do like a good pair of balls. You aren't wrong. Oh wait, you were talking... Never mind. just realised the stupidity of what I just said. Whoops.
Now, do it now. Now would be a good time. Do it now.
What, do the balls or no? I'm gonna stop talking because I'm trying to be comical, and I'm failing.
Ow.
And the re-raise that Penta has is holy water, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's 1d6.
Sexy. So that hits. No, I don't want to see your outlook. Stop. So the moonlight arrow basically soars straight past Marianne as she's about to jump in the way, but it fires just a little bit too far. Cuts through the air with a harsh sounding whistle and hits Penton, dealing 2,960 damage. However, your auto raise pops off, meaning that you are dropped down to 3 HP as the effect kicks off.
Ow.
And it is at this
Know that
point
feeling.
where Ankh manages to basically grab hold of Lupus, and there is a contest of strength, as before your very eyes you watch the two of them, Lupus in his incredibly powered up state, and Ankh with his intense level of determination. There is a contest of strength between the two of them. And this is where Ankh is going to use his runic amp. I'm being stupid.
Hmm?
I'm trying to do basic maths, and I'm failing.
Rip.
Because my brain is very full right now of information. Numbers. And using the power of the runic amplification, Ankh is able to basically catch Lupus out, rolling a 160 on his strength check, whereas Lupus only rolls a 63, proceeds to throw Lupus into the wall with an intense level of force, and casts Unseal Scars. And so as Lupus is thrown, on his way to hit the wall, he explodes into this macabre display of blood. Like somebody's just set off one of those fancy fountains and thrown it like a grenade. And it goes everywhere. To the point where Astra, your hair, people could think your hair is scarlet in colour. That's how everywhere it goes.
Jesus.
And the physical the form of Lupus basically crumples against the wall. Legs and arms splayed out in a manner where he's somehow managing to sit upright against the wall, but is slightly teetered to one side, where just the sheer positioning of his arm is keeping him propped up, and the encounter ends. Congratulations, you have won.
Woo!
Huzzah. I feel so victory right now.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, at this point, having you can see Lupus trying to move his arms and legs, However, he is physically incapable of doing so due to these large open wounds that cover the inner parts of his arm, of like where his, you know, like where your elbow bends in, that bit that squishes together, across there and across the, like behind, across the whole of the back of both the knee on both sides, have these large gash wounds that completely immobilize the guildmaster. And the sounds that are coming out of him are these unholy death screams. Like, this is something you would expect out of a dying animal, not a person. After a few moments, he stops this shouting. And just goes limp. Accepting his fate.
Should we go and help him?
Yeah, maybe.
Does he count as being down?
No. So,
In that case, the fight's not over. He has to concede. I can't risk going over to him.
this is where a purplish coloured aura and it basically encircles Lupus before attaching itself to him and fading into his fur. And you notice that his the wounds that seem, well, I say seem, his wounds that were previously healing themselves over seem to have stopped. Almost as though there is something at play here that is either preventing him from regenerating, or preventing his fast healing abilities from restoring his health, or something that is dealing an equal amount of damage to him, meaning that it essentially negates any point of there being a healing effect in the first place. The arena registers this as a win for Team Penton, meaning that Lupus has lost. Pardon you.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Pardon me.
So,
Holy
That
shit,
was
I
that
can't
was
believe
louder
that
than your literal voice.
Oh,
I do believe we have some information to collect.
Information connection time.
Does he look capable of speaking at the moment?
Yes, very much so, because you can see him. You can see him muttering things to himself that are is not loud enough for you to hear, but it just kind of doesn't seem to be coherent either. At least to you, as though it is in a different language.
I'm sorry it ended like this. But we couldn't afford to let everything we worked for be jeopardized. So, with that in mind, what are you hiding from us?
And it is at this point, without any real wording, you can see the trail of blood coming from the scar over Lupus's eye. This trail of crimson-colored liquid is joined with that of tears. And the man that you, Penton, have seen as this immovable, unstoppable warrior who's been your protector for this period of time, starts weeping. Like your stereotypical damsel in distress, having lost hope, kind of crying. Very ugly crying. I can't think of a way to make this sound more pathetic, so just picture it in your head.
sorry,
He does
pardon
not
me.
know how to react, so he just stands there and looks in shock.
So, seeing that this is not going anywhere, Ark decides, in his infinite wisdom, to take several steps forward and point the tip of the Anubian Impaler directly at Lupus's throat. You're going to share the information with us, or I will be more than happy to remove your head.
Stand down, Ark. He's already lost. That was the deal. Those were the terms. There needs to be no more violence.
And it's at this point that Lupus finally cracks. Fine, you wanna know so fucking badly why I don't want to reveal it? It's because I've been there already.
Come again?
I have been to find the heirloom already on my own. And funnily enough, it just so happens that the duplicates, or the chieftain's trial, includes, well, I'm sure you've already been told, seeming as I have caught Nova first-handed with the information he's given to your group. And Lupus, you can see one of his eyes is closed because otherwise blood straight into eyeball. No. The other one tears of what seem to be either frustration, anger, sadness, you're not really sure, continue to pour from that eye, the open eye, that's looking directly at you with a harsh, piercing gaze. Is that the duplicates of those that I feel as though I've failed are people that I care about, and I cannot bring myself to harm them. I cannot put myself through it, because I cannot do it. It would force me to not only relive all of the things that I have fought so hard to get away from, but at the same time will force me to physically harm those that I care about, that I sacrificed my well-being to keep happy and alive. There.
So instead, you chose to withhold the information that holds the key to their continued survival.
And at this point, you can see Lupus's chest rising and falling, and that pained expression change to one of rage. Do you fucking think that I'm trying to do this intentionally? That I'm trying to hide this information like it's some sort of valuable secret? No. I am scared, I am afraid of what is there. I can't help it. It just happens. I have no control over what comes out of my mouth until after I have said it. It is an impulsive response, because the moment that I come out with the correct response that you are after, you know what fucking happens? People get hurt. Because I can't do the one fucking job that I'm supposed to do, which is protect people. To keep them happy, even if it comes at the cost of my own happiness. I mean, fucking look at the brilliant job I did for Fele. Look at the brilliant job I did for half the guild. Look at the amazing job I did for Rose, who's now missing in the middle of fucking nowhere because I couldn't save her from her husband. Look at Lilac. Look at you. And Lupus's eyes go straight to Lilac. Couldn't even help you. I couldn't help you. And Lupus's eyes move to Astra. Couldn't help you with the sheer fucking basic thing of apologizing for a mistake I made 50 fucking years ago. Couldn't even help you, despite the fact you went behind my back. And Lupus's eye moves over. The open eye moves over to Marianne. I could have done something more, but nope. I was too afraid of hurting you or hurting Fele to do anything. And instead, you nearly lost your eye and your wife nearly lost her hand. Brilliant fucking job I'm doing, huh? And Lupus just starts laughing at himself.
You're being hard on yourself.
Lupus's head tilts slightly to the side. You're not quite sure whether that's because it's just his head flopping from the sheer weight, and the fact that the rest of his body is not exactly capable of keeping it up, or whether it's a slightly sarcastic taunt as he looks directly at you. It's easy for you
I
to
said
say.
you're being hard on yourself.
It's easy for you to say.
It is easy for me to say,
Because
but
look
it's the
at you.
truth.
Raven Queen sitting on high, you left your sister on me. So
You
it is.
did not need to take care of it.
Well, then who was going to? Who was going to stop her from hurting herself or hurting the rest of you? Huh? I have been left to deal with her and her husband for the last 20 years. I've had no time. I've been so...
And they're gone now.
But that 20 years doesn't come back. The pain that I've inflicted on literally everybody else around me doesn't go away. She hates me. Lupus turns his head towards Astra. He doesn't know any better, and Lupus turns his head towards Penton. The only person who's really got any sort of fucking right mind here is him. And Lupus looks at Ankh, who is still holding the tip of the Nubian Impaler at Lupus's throat. Because what use am I if I can't do the one fucking thing I'm supposed to do, huh? I'm a protector, I'm a guild master. I'm supposed to be the one that made sure that everybody else got out of our previous fight alive. And look, here we are, half of our fucking old team either dead or having died.
Lupus, you're not all powerful. People will die, and you'll try your best to stop it, but no one will be able to. You just have to try your best, and when things go bad, they go bad, and you have to pick yourself up.
Yeah, none of us were meant to live forever. People, you kept us all alive for the entire journey that we took to get those crystals. And that was the task, you know. We defeated the Lilian Beast. We defeated Slaven. After that, everyone, you know, went off in their different paths, continued the rest of their journeys, and some people's journeys just weren't meant to keep going.
This is the point where Lupus starts violently sobbing. His entire body Lupus's entire chest is like shaking as he looks at Marianne and looks at Diana. And yet, you all went on your separate ways and you left me behind.
If we left you behind, I wouldn't have sent my daughter to your guild, and I wouldn't be back here fighting alongside you.
I tried my best. I tried my best.
You
to save
did.
them. But I let all of you down. I let Norik down the most. He didn't have to die. I tried to make sure that Fele was okay. And now look, she's off in the mid. She's been banished off to another plane because she couldn't handle the real world. She couldn't handle everything. Hell, the fact that all of you are here again, having to help fight the Lilian Beast was because I didn't do my own fucking job properly the first time. And now I'm being haunted by the remnants of my own mother every 25 years, having to kill the same person that I fail to save every single fucking time.
Marianne is gonna lean down next to Lupus. You know, I've always admired you. And I mean it. And I've always counted on you. But this time, you need to count on us too. You can lean on us.
Diana's gonna push Ank's blade away.
This fight as well that you've got coming up that you're so scared about, you're not going to be doing it alone. We're going to be there fighting alongside you.
No one here is looking at you with anger or disappointment. And it really shouldn't take us all to have to battle you, confront you, just so you could speak your mind, you know?
And the moment that the word disappointment is brought up, Lupus's eye fixates on Astra and her facial expression. There are no words that come out of Lupus, but there is a gaze held between the two of them. Wow.
I don't remember anything that I wanted to fucking say here. Shit. Fuck.
Wing it.
Do you remember when we first met?
Lupus does his best to nod.
Can you describe, please?
What, Lupus trying to nod, or when the two of them first encountered each other?
No, when they actually encountered.
So, if memory serves correctly, the first point that they encountered one another was at the Shadow Spire. Actually, no, it would have been before that. It would have been all the way back at your meeting at the Earth Crystal, where Lupus appeared and was trying to find somebody before disappearing again. And he reappeared in the Shadow Spire, where Fele lost her baby myth, and the events surrounding Karina's reappearance after her kidnapping years ago. I'm trying to remember what other points early on.
Well, you see, before even all of that, after we had first met Eugene, I decided to go out one night, and then I found you there, lying on the grass, unconscious. Despite the fact that I knew that you were hunting us from behind a tree, I healed you. And then watched as Edith and I don't even remember who was beside her appeared and took control of you once again before disappearing. Yeah, Dallas. Who fucking remembers her? That bitch.
Dolly who?
Dolly bitch.
I remember. What the fuck?
Yeah, I remember Lady Darius.
I don't
I do remember her to some degree.
fucking a stain on history. What the fuck?
Please continue.
That was the first time I ever saw you.
You have Lupus's full attention. He says nothing, but continues to watch. Eyes focused on your presence. Or eye, singular, sorry.
And after numerous events along the course of getting fucking anywhere during the quest to retrieve the powers of the Crystal Heroes, and then the airship, and then you regaining, Jesus Christ, that's not even words,
It's alright.
regaining your consciousness fully. I never understood why that day when Gort was attacking Foley, why you asked me if we should save her. In that moment, yes, I hated her, but I never quite understood why. I understood that both you and Ziffy, as the non-elemental crystals, you were able to take the place of one of the others, but to so nonchalantly give the option, it never made sense to me.
And this is where Lupus lets out a little, almost defeated chuckle. Quite simply put, I didn't feel as though it was my place to decide at that point. Okay, yes, I'm aware that I had the responsibility to make sure that all of you came out alive. But as far as I understood you, yes, you hated her. And it was a poor judgment on my part, thinking that giving you that decision would somehow change anything. Thinking that giving you the decision over her life, or whether she continued to breathe, was something that would be fair. She destroyed your village. She caused the Malboros and other plants to attack from the forest. And if I were to give you that decision, it would have made some difference. Had I have not done that, had I saved her life, maybe you may have resented her to such an extent that doing such an act would have caused a further rift. But I now understand that trying to put such a big important decision on somebody else's shoulders was not a smart move. And I know you've hated me since that day. You've hated me since I asked you to stay in the mountain and stay on the island of stay on 12 Gate Island. These are things that I cannot undo. The choice over her life. It was a mistake. A poorly thought out offer of control after all that had happened. Karina's soul being split from her body. What happened with Forrest. The pain inflicted on other people. It just... I'm sorry that I did that. And I tried my damnedest to make up for it. But nothing I ever did felt like it was enough. Nothing I ever did was enough.
Have you ever thought that the decision I made that day was wrong?
And this is where Lupus goes silent. And immediately, The eye contact is broken.
I don't blame you. Sometimes I wonder, maybe it would have been better, but this is the timeline that we are in.
And Lupus looks back at Ashram, and then at the surrounding group. So what now? Do you plan to finish me off, or...?
Are you
You're hilarious.
No. You're stupid,
trying
right?
to finish you off. What the?
None of us are here to finish you off. Are you kidding?
I
Silly.
plan to get a drink with you and discuss this like adults, rather than the way we have been.
Lupus's expression, his gaze, his eyes kind of dull slightly. That little bit of lively light vanishes to some degree. Sorry, force of habit.
Now, before we all start splitting off, Lupus, when all of this is over, you are coming to Honeymill, even if I have to drag you there, and you will be eating as much pie as I can shove down your throat.
Lupus looks slightly confused, but it's not so much a confused expression of like, the fuck, but almost as though you've genuinely managed to take him off guard. And bear in mind, this is the same person who had planned out every single eventuality of the goddesses and members of the previous traveling party, the Crystal Heroes. Him having planned out every eventuality in case you turned against him. This completely takes him off guard. But speaking of being taken off guard, those of you that are standing close enough notice that the hundreds of little cuts and slashes across the exposed parts of Lupus's body, those being his arms, legs, stomach, the large scar on his arm and face, and notably enough, what seems to be a sort of puncture hole. What seems to be almost a perfect puncture hole within the scar over his eye, as if made by some sort of projectile. These wounds still heavily bleeding, like there is a visible pool of blood having formed about 15 feet around Lupus at this point. Is just a big ass pool of forbidden strawberry syrup.
I was going to say strawberry milk.
Yeah, it's a bit too pink though.
Can I
True.
throw some lay on hands his way?
As you go to move your hands closer to apply them, as you have to make physical contact for that, your hand is slapped away. And slowly,
By Lupus?
Yep. Slowly but surely, Lupus pulls himself off the floor. And though that purplish aura that had attached itself to Lupus earlier seems to be forcefully dispelled, as Lupus looks at Ankh. Clever bastard. Don't you ever try that on me again. And slowly but surely, Lupus drags his heavily bleeding self out of the arena. Every spell that Lilac attempts to throw at him to heal him is immediately dissipates after reaching about 10 foot of range around Lupus. And he leaves. leaving the rest of you standing there a bit confused as to what the fuck just happened.
How long until you think Zifri is going to get here and start shouting at us?
Maybe we should disperse.
Yeah, probably very quickly.
Knowing him, he might already be here.
Ziffy, are you there? Hello.
Alright then.
Ziffy, are you going to choose to manifest at this point? Are you going to stay watching the arena sequel?
He is going to say nothing.
So, you ladies have no idea that the secondary guildmaster has been seated in one of the Colosseum chairs the entire time.
Nope, I have no idea. I guess he's not here.
Oh my god, that was scary. Oh, we did it. Go team.
Yep.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your help, everybody. Literally couldn't have done it without you.
Couldn't have done it without
Oh,
Ark.
no problem.
Luca,
Yeah, you too.
Lucas?
sorry. So, Lilac looks mildly amused. I can't say I've had that much of a thrill since, well, since our time fighting together. Do you remember when we all decided it'd be a genius idea to fight our elemental deities at the same time?
We did?
Or
Yes, I do remember that.
dealing with Alexander and Anima at the same
Oh,
time?
Oh,
Oh.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that's not
I
good
hate
idea.
Alexander.
Don't worry, I've made sure that his life has been an absolute hell.
You are amazing.
Lilac sits there and smiles. Well, of course. He keeps sending his missionaries into Lenfar to try and convert the town. So
Oh.
what do? I casually notify Titan. He sends an earthquake through the ocean, and it arrives at their front doorstep and just breaks their entire ship, or the entire port anyway. It disrupts a couple of ropes that have been tied together to make the dock. The whole dock falls in, but nobody in the town is harmed. And then we get a very grumpily worded letter asking us to stop doing it.
No idea. A single word of what you just said. But I could really go for a drink right now.
Yeah.
And so you scatter.
Victory
I'm coming.
celebration.
We all just scatter to the tavern.
Yep.
Yes,
We
but
all
also
pick different
not,
routes. Some
because
people
at the
tunnel,
moment,
some people fly.
as of current, you are still waiting for Group U to return from their outing.
They went out?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
currently, all of the members of Group U, aside from Penton, are in the town. And so you scatter. But you have a goal in mind. In the whilst Ark has gone off to go and clean off his armor and re-saw out all of his robotic parts that are now drenched in the crimson-coloured fluid. that exploded
Oh yeah,
out of
bathtub.
this.
You need to put him in rice. Alright.
I'm sorry. I need like a square. I need like a square-shaped Ark image of him, like as a mobile phone in rice. I need this in my life. So, you've gone to go clean yourselves off, and all of that fun stuff. And Penton, you're one of the first ones out of the bathhouse. Lilac seems to be taking his time. Ankh is sitting there, kind of polishing off all of his parts in the forge, basically using the intense heat of the forge to burn off any of the excess, like, dried stains and whatever. And the three ladies are just taking their time. Mainly because Astra's hair is pure white and they're trying to get as much of the red-coloured liquid out of her hair as possible, because otherwise it's going to stain pink. So,
Oh,
Astra with
and then you
pink
can have
hair
hair
sounds-
like mine.
No.
so just picture, if you
Boo.
will, like Astra's got her hair fully unbraided, laid back, and then so as that's happening, Penton, you receive like a notification to just like in your mind. There's like a voice, although it appears to be heavily modified, so you can't tell who it is, that asks you to come outside.
Well, thinking this is a trap. So I will come outside very gingerly with the weapon already drawn. If I even have it on me, I'll just come out of the bathhouse.
Yeah, I'd
The
imagine.
towel already ready for whipping.
So Pendon's walking out the bathhouse nude.
If
Or is there
it's
a
what
secondary
if it's
towel
what it
involved
takes
here?
to defend myself,
If
then
there- is there
that's
a
what it will be.
I'm gonna assume there's a secondary towel involved here.
Yes, I've grabbed another towel. I've grabbed one as coverage and one as a weapon. So we now have both a weapon and armor.
Fun fact, a wet towel will be considered a whip in this context.
Does
I
it
shit
do
you not.
the same
Woo!
damage?
It
Surely
would-
not.
It would do piercing damage. Oh, sorry, no,
I can
water
tell.
damage, correction, because it's wet.
Because it's wet.
So, you step out,
Moist.
and the moment you take one step outside the building, so you are fully, like, there is nothing above your head, a gravity rune triggers from underneath you, and catapults you skyward.
Oh
At such a rate, and as you stop going upwards, you start to slow. However, your chest and you're flat, parallel towards the ground, and you start to fall. And that's when you feel these wooden / metallic things come underneath you and catch you. And you start sliding back towards the guild. Not down, you're still up in the air. You're being slowly pulled towards what looks like this sort of crow's nest / spire type thing. And you're tossed into this little perch. And that is where you find the guildmaster, Lupus. Currently sat there. All of the wounds on his body are now just these angry red-looking marks. And Lupus looks at you.
Are you mad at me?
No, actually, I wanted to thank you.
You were?
Yes. Are you cold?
Yeah, kinda. It's a bit chilly up here.
And at this point, Lupus basically stands up, shorts off, and pulls a shirt out of his bag, and proceeds to give them to you.
Why do you have that?
Ziffy.
What?
9 times out of 10, I will have to keep a spare shirt on me when it comes round to sleeping. So it's always in my bag, because turns out Moon Hollow Fox claws shred through fabric quite easily.
Go on.
No. But no, I'd like to thank you. So, at any point, you are more than welcome to ask a favour of any capacity from me. And I mean any capacity, even if it means something as absurd as letting you view outside of the material plane and into the astral chaos, if you so feel the need.
Why would I want to do that? But
I don't
anyway,
know, it's you.
What can I say? I'm the illusionist sage. It's literally my duty and my destiny to save the world and everyone in them. Even if that means saving people from themselves.
Well, I don't know if you've done that, but close enough.
That's a
So-
lot better than you were before.
Well,
Sorry about scars, by the way.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that part, but
We had a plan to basically take you out in one go. Me and Astra planned it all out, but
oh, I'm aware. I have
you
noticed.
sort of fucked the whole thing up, so it was plan B, and yeah, the beef that stands for blood. By the way, you're not quite as flattering on the inside as you are on the outside. A lot of red. I think I got it all off me. Benton's inspecting his fur to see if there's definitely no more red on any of the white patches.
And Lupus sits there and smiles. So I thought I would be kind to you. Have you ever wondered how I'm able to see through your illusions or see Ziffy wandering around?
Yeah, I guess. I wondered how you spoil my fun every time, yes?
Well, and Lupus basically gets waves for Penton to sit down on the edge of the like the little crow's nest lookout perch thing with Lupus. And once Penton has seated himself, I'm assuming Penton is wearing the clothing that Lupus has handed to him at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
I imagine so.
I had to double check.
No, I put it on my head like a turban.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me knowing you. The king of random. Lupus uses the eyes of Lunarius, placing his hand on Penton's shoulder, temporarily connecting your magical powers together, so you are able to see through the eyes of Lunarius. Meaning you can see what Lupus is seeing through the deific vision. And you can see into the town. And every single moving person is color-coded. With there being a lightish purple-coloured.
Is he explaining
outline.
this to me?
Yeah, so Lupus is explaining this as I'm describing it. These purple outlines, which are the rest of your group within the town. These light blue coloured figures that are civilians. And then you notice the green ones. And Lupus explains to you that those are the illusory people.
So, what are those red ones over there?
And the moment that you point that out, Lupus tenses. And in real time, I'd like to describe as Group U are making their way back up the slope, back to the guild. And there are these two red figures hanging out in the forest nearby. The Penton you point out. And they proceed to start making a move towards the pathway. They're not out of the forest yet, but they are slowly encroaching towards. And Lupus takes his hand off of Penton's shoulder, meaning you no longer have the capacity to see through the deific sight. And you watch as Lupus places his fingers against his temple. And every single member of the guild or every character that is within the guild right now is called upon to come to the front entrance. As there are potential attackers on their way. And leading the front of this, don't worry, by this point the ladies would have managed to finish cleaning Astra's hair, so you don't
Oh,
stink.
this was
Just
Luna.
comes out sopping wet hair.
Do like Group U also hear this?
Group you do not hear this. It is only the people within the building currently. So everybody moves straight towards the doorway, as you would imagine. And at the front, you are all greeted to the sight, and I'd like to describe this for Group U as well. Standing in the doorway is this incredibly large red and green furred fox, who looks as though I will just post this because I haven't made an Ep78 equivalent of this yet because I've been a little bit preoccupied. But essentially, standing in the front doorway, you see this, minus the fire around. This is what you see standing in the doorway on like half
Uh.
half not.
Ziffy?
And immediately, well, Lupus places his hand back on Penton's shoulder. You immediately see the two red figures rapidly start to retreat, as though they've seen the people at the entrance of the door, and immediately decide to change their minds. You do notice that as they're retreating out of range of Lupus's sight, that one of the two red figures is carrying some sort of bag with one of the blue figures inside of it. But you only catch it for a split second before it disappears, making you wonder if it's actually a person being carried, or maybe it's just your imagination. But you decide to just brush it off because it doesn't really seem like that would make sense, because you didn't notice it beforehand.
So, are we going to talk about that, or...?
Lupus just sits there and smiles. No. What we can talk about, though, is the fact that I've immediately taken one of the lessons I learned from you guys to heart. Not everybody can do everything on their own. There you go. And the two of you use Lupus's platform rooms to basically slide your way down to the entrance, where Lupus proceeds to immediately jump onto the large red and green furred fox. Oh, he's a big baby! Oh, you've gone all low. And then Low Zippy proceeds to pick up Lupus and then just leave. We're not talking like the affectionate pick up, like, you know when like you pick up a water bottle by the middle and just walk off with it? Like that.
So they've just
King Kong
dropped
style.
this child?
Are you confused?
I'm incredibly confused.
What are you confused about?
So, everything.
Okay, so short form.
Who the hell is this?
The red and green furred fox, that is Ziffy. That is
Yeah, okay, no, I got that far.
That is Low Zippy, aka the Lunannon equivalent for the Moon Hollow Foxes.
And the blue one?
The mysterious blue person being dragged away. You're not quite sure. You would not know who that is. However, essentially what's just happened, there is a potential chance that the two evil figures that have been forced to retreat may have a third person with them that is a civilian. But this is only knowledge that Lupus and Penta would have. So, Group U has returned back to the guild, and you are none the wiser as to the fact that you were nearly about to get attacked. But you do, however, see disappearing.
It's that fucking ice cream van.
It's coming for your organs.
It's taking your
Fuck.
organs. It's coming for you.
Okay,
Is that-
so So you do
Fuck
see
yeah, it is an ice cream
retreating-
van. Jesus Christ.
retreating off into the distance, this pair of black furred ears, specifically almost rabbit-esque ears. And let me brain cells, please. And a pair of what looks like ginger hair. So you just think it's maybe just a couple of people that are just wandering off
Oh, for fuck's sake.
into the distance. Maybe some hunters or something. Doesn't really seem like anything that you should be worried about, though. So you are back at Yield. Right. What do I want to do here? Okay, so what happens from here is the... I'm going to swap back the stream format to the usual. Bonk. Is there are a couple of events that are going to happen here. Such as the one that I'm the most excited about is Astra. I do believe you have a couple of people that you need to go and have a chat with. Specifically, one person. Maybe a certain Madame that you need to have a little conversation with. Madame E.
Oh, fuck me!
So, would you like to go and speak
Oh my god.
to her?
Can I like put a note on Lupus's door just saying, I'm going to visit Eden, we'll be back soon, kiss kiss.
Yep. Go for it.
I do that.
So you've now gone off to one of the deific planes to go and meet with Eden. No, that's not that. So you end up entering the plane of Edra. Specifically, the Garden of Eden. To go and interact with her. After you essentially killed one of her followers.
Mm-hmm. That was a few months ago, wasn't it?
It was. And you find Eden in all of her gracious beauty, tending to a large tree at the center of this garden, with a large selection of very beautiful and delicious looking fruit strung from it. And she sees you approaching, and you swear that from that distance you could see her rolling her eyes. Ah, Astra dear. What brings... Sorry. Miss Ardione, what brings you to the garden on this lovely day?
I have come to seek repentance
You've come to seek
and your
repentance.
forgiveness. Your forgiveness, repentance.
She smiles as you've just fallen straight into the trap that she set for you. I know, dear. I'm pulling your leg.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't actually sure if I said repentance correctly.
You did. You did. Don't
And
worry.
it got even picked up through the mic.
It's fine. Don't worry. You got it. And so Eden invites you to join her, tending to the tree that she is currently maintaining. So, what exactly do you expect as repentance? Or is this something that you want me to decide on?
Well, yeah, kind of. All I ask is that you do not brand Milo.
And she sits there, smiles for a moment, has a little laugh. Oh, of course not, darling. See, I don't think that would really teach you a lesson. That would, however, teach him a lesson. But that's not the importance here. Just so you guys have like a... think a more humanized version of that.
Whoa.
I'm gonna be honest, I
Is
think
that
this is the
Eden?
first image you've even sent me of Eden.
Bro.
Eden in her true deific form. Currently, she looks like a woman. A white-haired, blue-eyed woman in a rather fine farming gown. And she looks... no. Her skin tone is more of a tanned colour. I think some around the same, say, not Marianne. There's another character I'm thinking of who's got, like, the exact same fucking tone that I'm thinking of. Oh my god, that's really ironic. Her skin tone is the same color as Yama's. So like a slightly slight mixture between like an olivine complexion and a more tanned complexion, which is actually really funny given the context. So, she looks to you. Well, I can think of one brilliant way to educate you and correct your mistake. I would like you to meet Aztec, the god of death, so that you might learn what actually happens to the souls that you brand when they die.
Okay,
And she smiles.
I accept this.
Perfect. And with a flick of her wrist, a portal opens next to the tree. I have sent him a message. Go ahead.
Astro walks on through.
And so, you are met. You wander through this very empty, almost dead feeling garden of sorts, until you are met face to face with Aztec himself, who perches upon a large crag that juts out of the ground. And his skull is fully exposed. You can see his entire arrangement of internal organs, as his ribcage is opened like a mouth, and he looks down at you. Who dares to enter my domain?
Ardione, Eden sent me.
Ah, I see. The misfit goddess has been brought forward to me. Tell me, what exactly did you hope to gain from branding such a young man, let alone someone else's sheep that has been claimed already?
I did not really think about it, to be honest.
Do you understand anything about what you have done to that boy's soul?
No.
And as you say that, his chest cavity opens, and out drops a small glass shard that clacks and clinks across the floor and slides to your feet. That is what happens to a soul's state of being the moment that you brand them and they become a Seath. The boy is trapped within his own body, forever cursed to live a life of infinite remorse until the power of his soul truly does fade, at which point that glass shard at your feet will shatter, and his soul will find no peace. it will forever be cursed to an infinite loop of misery and remorse and suffering until Hades decides to take it. Or, if you don't like me talking about your rival, it will be up to Minerva, or Etro, or God forbid, my father's acquaintance, Zodiac. And Aztec lowers his rather massive head down. Let me give you an idea. This guy's like the big bony horns that protrude from the top of his skull are essentially the size of like two great swords stacked on top of each other compared to the size of you. He could probably put his hand down and just splat. But he brings his head down, and that empty eye socket glows red as he looks at you. I should imagine that being within my presence is enough to cause you great discomfort. All things that are living struggle to survive within range of me. You are not of unlife or of deific beings. Blood. You would die being close to me. Do you feel it? Your soul aching to escape your body. That pain, that suffering. And he keeps moving closer until the bone of his skull is basically touching your hands as you have instinctively moved your hands in front of you to stop him getting any closer. Your heart is beating hard and fast. It feels as though somebody is trying to basically pull the essence of your existence from your body the closer he gets. You are to never brand without reason, or I shall use what is commonly known as the breath of eternity upon you. You will never find peace should you brand so carelessly again. Do you understand, child?
I understand.
And then at this point, he smiles. And you hear this female voice come in. And it feels like your soul is now refreshed, regenerated. As behind you is this almost like white-furred, like this white and gold dragon with large deer horns enter the plain. The deadened garden around her growing into infinite life. Now, my brother, or should I say, correctly say, my cousin, cursed humans. Do you need to taunt the girls so much? Greetings, little harvest daughter. I am Azareth. I am the cousin of this young, wretched sibling. You and I shall have tea together for a little bit, whilst you process and have your spirit bathed in something that is not the essence of undeath itself. Yes, Aztec speaks up. Please remove this vessel of life from my view. And you should learn well not to enter my domain without Father's permission, Azeroth. Yes, yes, and you need to brush your teeth. Goodbye. And Astra, you are pulled into Azeroth's dimension. You spend a little bit of time there, allowing your soul to recover a little bit, and for your skin to stop crawling, as you feel very unclean right now. And you are very consciously aware of every little bit of dead skin, dead hair, dead anything on your body, which you proceed to then have basically stripped from you the moment you enter Azeroth's dimension, as you feel alive. You feel like you're glowing with the energy of the harvest. And while this is happening, oh, this will be fun. Marianne, you have decided to go and find a little friend you haven't
Have
seen
I?
in a while. Yes. You've seen him wandering around, but you've not had the chance to interact with him yet. So you've gone to go and see Xanis. Because you've seen him as a baby, all looking all adorable and wrapped up in cloth. And then, due to the events happening in the world, you were no longer able to basically see him while he was growing up. So
Too busy.
you managed to find him sitting there talking with Yuzok, who upon seeing you approach, politely excuses himself so that the two of you can have a one-to-one interaction. Oh, hi Marianne.
Hi, Xanis. Oh, I haven't seen you since you were this big. Like, little baby. All wrapped up. And crying all the time. It's nice to see you stopped crying.
Xanis lets out a little laugh at this. Hey, I wasn't that bad. No, actually, no, I was that bad.
I mean, how would you know? Do you remember?
I was told that.
Yes.
I remember Papa Fox telling me a story about when Crimson nearly kicked me like an American football because I wouldn't stop.
What? That is insane.
I mean,
You should not kick babies. I've never had a baby, but I know that you shouldn't kick them.
I mean, if it's small enough to throw, no, I shouldn't carry on with that train of thought.
You should not throw babies unless
I won't.
they're evil babies, I guess.
Xanis nods at your words of wisdom. So how are you finding it over here rather than being on 12 Gate?
Oh, it's nice. I like traveling around a bit, you know. The bears keep they're pooping more than they should. I think it's the new food.
Xanis lets out a little laugh. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting there having to ponder for a moment. I do remember. Give me the DM a few seconds, because brain is trying to remember a bit of information, but it can't remember the bit of information. Where the fuck is it? Information! There it is. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. There it is. Xanis lets out a little giggle. Yeah, I remember Gelrin used to have a bit of a problem trying to keep a lot of her, keeping her bears under control. They were, the reason we had to replace some of the furniture in a couple of the rooms.
Oh, I think I've got them well trained. Except Hephaestus does eat a lot. She will eat anything. I'm serious. So if you're eating and you see her, leave.
Dinus lets out a cute little laugh. What if I want to feed her? Actually, no, I shouldn't, because you shouldn't feed other people's pets, huh? Well, family? I don't know.
I mean, you can feed her as long as you just tell me, so I can adjust how much she gets fed. Else, you know.
Dinus smiles. Good to know.
Oh, and like, don't feed her like chocolate or something.
Isn't
know.
that bad for bears? Something, I don't know.
I think it's bad for everything else that's not like people.
Dinus nods.
Actually, it's quite bad for people too.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. Although I was gonna say, oh, we could just ask one of the Mortis twins to help, one of the Mortis siblings to help, but they're not here, so.
Who?
Oh, there are
Who
a
are
couple.
they?
There are a couple of This is where my brain has to remember what group they're in. Oh, they're a couple of the members of Group M. They're the only they're really weird, but they're one of the necromancers of our guild.
Oh,
They're okay actually, although they are a little strange. They like to play pranks on each other a lot. But what would you figure, coming from Papa Wolf's problem children, or problem group as he likes to call them a lot. Also,
I think all of them are problem groups. I'm not gonna lie.
hey, I mean, our group's not too. Actually, no, our group.
I've
could
heard
be,
things.
Yeah, the 2 a.m. Salt, the Alice.
Alice seems. She reminds me of me when I was young.
Yeah, you two. From what Papa Wolf told me, you two are kind of share some similarities.
Has he told you a lot of stories about me back in the old days?
Xanis nods furiously. He's told me a lot of
no.
things.
Oh.
Like the one time where you guys managed to cause a megalodon to multiply, and we're having to fight these megalodons inside a boat.
Oh, I remember that.
I remember him telling me about that. I remember he mentioned something about a really fruity carnival, and told me when I was older when I was old enough we could go and visit there sometime. But I don't really get what he meant. Why would I want to visit a carnival as an adult?
Oh.
And he's scratching his chin. Oh, and I remember him telling me about the time that you guys took on an entire orcish fortress. It sounds so cool.
Yep.
And Xana has a big grin on his face. Yeah, those are the only things that I can immediately call to mind.
That was
But
a difficult day.
I can imagine. I mean, dealing with a couple of orcs is already difficult. And Xanis thinks about the time where him and Nox had an arm wrestle, and Xanis nearly got thrown across the room. And Xanis recounts that to Marianne. Turns out challenging an Evercross to an arm wrestle is not a good idea.
No.
Because you get thrown.
Maybe I should try. No. Well,
I mean, when Gort comes back, you could ask him.
do you think
Seems
I
like
could?
somebody-
And Marianne flexes like, you think I could?
And it's like Xanis has like the little the little like anime star eyes effect that they do, like that. It's like, whoa, you're really strong like Usopp. That's so cool. How the hell do you do that? And then Xanis does a little flex, and it's like nowhere near as impressive.
Wow. You're
I
so
know.
strong too.
I'm working on my strength because I wanna. I'm practicing more heavy heavier strikes than relying on technique. And he does like little air quotes when he says that. Because yeah, being precise is great, but sometimes you just want to whack the thing really hard and like swing with both hands on it. Like, what?
Yeah, I got this strong by throwing around this big sword all day and playing with the bears, wrestling with the well, not wrestling. Well,
And Xanis seems completely enthralled by what you're talking about. And
it's really fun to play with the bears. I've got them to the point where they almost never injure me.
Xanis' eyebrows raise. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm guessing most of the scars that you have are from the epic battles that you guys had, right?
Yeah. Some epic battles, some less epic battles, some people just want to fight, you know.
Xanis
Things
nods.
like that.
Xanis is nodding aggressively, and it's just... He seems very, very interested. Like, hilariously so. And the two of you end up conversing for a while. And we're gonna cha-cha slide on over to... We're gonna cha-cha slide on over to Alec. Who is currently on his way to Luther's office. For he has decided on what to do relating to a very particular situation that he had. Alex player should know exactly what I am referring to. And yes,
I might.
it is that time. So, you've gone into Lupus's office, where Lupus is currently sitting there, just writing some things down and pondering. Oh, hello, Alec. I was not expecting you.
Hello.
Something I can help with?
So, about my bitch-ass uncle.
Lupus immediately smiles. Are you
Where-
here for what I think you are?
Where is he?
Currently in a prison cell. In the capital city of Garrus. Good old Arcadia.
Good old,
Why, are you ready to deal with him?
Oh, I'm more than ready.
Well, Lupus gets up from his desk, and you notice that his body is covered in little angry red-looking marks, but it doesn't seem to really be bothering him. Well,
You good?
yeah. Oh, right, these. Surprisingly enough, trying to fight two bloodline members, Penton, two goddesses, and Marianne at the same time isn't the best idea when you're not taking it seriously. Maybe I'll tell you later.
Yeah, maybe later.
Well, Lupus stretches. It's been a while since I've seen the fluffy boys, but let's go. And you go to the teleport room, and the crystal changes from its usual orange colour to a slightly purplish shade, and he mutters a couple of runic words before you are transported into the capital city of Arcadia. Specifically, one of the prison rooms.
Back in hell.
Like Alec has been to prison before.
He meant Arcadia, but
Oh! Never mind.
no,
Nailed it.
he's never been caught, he.
And you are met with two faces that you are quite familiar with. Please tell me that it has not shown up the work in progress parts.
Oh shit, is it on roll 20?
Yes, I have
No.
added their tokens. Okay. Bonk.
Beep,
I have to
boop.
remove the work in progress parts from there,
Lads.
from their names. So you are met with two Arcadian judges. One, a rather soft-faced looking polar bear man. The other, a rather formal looking hyena folk. And Lupus just fist bumps them the moment that he arrives. Well, it's been a while since I've seen you bastards. Now why are you going to disrespect me like that, huh? Sir, I would more than happily appreciate if you could not dilute down my title and address me as judge. Yep. You are just as much of a stick in the mud as I thought you were. And
Damn, I thought I was gonna sneak in here. I didn't know this was judge approved.
Lucas laughs. Oh no, it's definitely not judge approved. But these two are friends. So may I introduce you formally to Judge Lenmus Tarek, and he waves his hand at the polar bear man, and his definitely not boyfriend. And Lucas puts his hand in front of his mouth and whispers to Alec, definitely. And this is Jarok Narvon. They are the two judges that have worked with the guild. Well, I say worked consistently with the guild. Have previously worked with the guild to assist us with some of the difficulties we've been having. Mainly getting in to this place and then back out when we need to. But gentlemen, would you mind escorting us to the prisoner? That one. The one that we're here for. Now, I would certainly be happy to guide you. Narvin, if you would be so kind as to keep an eye on the door. And Judge Narvon proceeds to immediately put his hands behind his back and assume attention. Of course, I would be more than delighted. By which I mean, yeah, I suppose so. Just don't expect me to be standing like this the whole time, because my back aches a bit. Frickin' having to lift heavy shit all day is not fun. And as he leans back, you just hear this crunch noise as he clicks his back. Okay, never mind, I am ready to punch somebody in the face. And Lupus starts laughing a little bit. Anyway, well then, and so you end up going through a couple hallways and past this very high security door that Judge Tarek closes behind him. And Lupus leans up against the wall. And in front of you, behind this set of prison bars, is good old Uncle Dearest. The man who raised you. Was not very fun. He is currently gagged, chained, and bound to the wall. So he is basically incapable of escape, but is more than capable of hearing everything and anything, and seems to almost perk up the moment that he hears somebody else in the room. And Lupus smiles and looks at Alec. Well, I'll give you 5 minutes. If you need help fucking him
Fine.
up, just let me know.
Oh, I do not need help.
Off you go. And the gates lift, and you are now granted unrestricted access to the man that raised you. Which there are just a few resentful feelings for.
Perhaps. Just gonna lean down, like in front of him and just sort of wave. Does he react?
I wouldn't say massively. He acknowledges your presence, but you can see his brow furrow the moment that he recognizes just the sound and smell of you.
But you thought you'd never see me again, didn't you? You know, funnily enough, one way that this could have been prevented, and you could have got what you want, is if you just weren't so much of a dick to me. And then I would have stayed there and you would have, killed me or whatever. But unfortunately for you, you are chained up, and I know a whole lot of magic. I am going to cast Icy Prison because I think it's
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
So Dex save.
He will not be able to make any of the saves as
He
he is
will probably not
currently
be able-
bound. So he is
Okay.
considered helpless, so as an automatic fail. However, just to add salt into the wound, even if I had rolled, it still would have been a natural 1. Because I just rolled
Okay.
it, and it's a nat 1.
He takes 1 ice damage per my caster level per round. So my caster level is
I believe it's 33 at the moment.
33. So he takes 33 ice damage every round. I'm just gonna sit
Okay.
there and watch.
So you're going to basically watch this man freeze to death.
Yep.
Okay. You notice that Lupus, you can hear Lupus muttering something in the background, and he essentially sustains this man's life force long enough for the whole spell duration to go by, and letting the final round worth of damage of that spell finish him off. Meaning that he has to go through the full icy pain.
33
spell.
minutes.
Yep. And you get to about the 5-minute mark, roughly.
Yeah. I was
So
like,
the entire time,
I'm gonna get bored.
the entire time you sit there and just watch this man basically freeze over. And then perish. And Lupus looks over to Alec. You know what? I respect it.
I'm gonna kick him.
And Lupus
then-
lets out a little laugh.
And then I want to do, if I can, the thing I did to the doppelganger, where I threw
You
him
want to throw
into
him into
the
the plane of
fire
fire.
plane. Yeah, after
Yep.
I freeze him to death. Yeah,
Yep, go for it. So
I do that.
you open a rift to another plane and proceed to throw what is the basically frozen corpse straight through the portal and into the fiery pits of death. And the portal closes. And Lupus just lets out another laugh, and you get a round of applause. You know what? I fucking respect the shit out of that. Say, I have arranged something for you that, if memory serves correctly, ignore this, DM Lupus is just checking in the background. I do believe a good friend of mine wanted to have a little chit-chat with you. Once we get back, of course. Shall we?
Okay.
And as the two of you are making your way out, Lucas looks over to you. By the way, if you're ever having trouble because of what Mr. Hot and Cold in there happened to have dished out to you, Come chit chat with me. Yeah. I might not be
Sure.
be very good at talking about my own problems, but what I am apparently very good at doing is being a therapist.
Interesting. I feel like I've internalized too much for it to really matter at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, but it's still worth talking about, even if it is to just get it out in the air, you know. But speaking of interesting things, I'm gonna have you go meet Kazaroth because he wants to teach you something.
New spells, new runes.
And so you end up returning back to the guild after Judge Tarek and Judge Narvon are informed that the man is dead. And they proceed to start dealing with the problem. Meanwhile, back at the guild, Lupus basically heads off to go and find Luna.
Me?
Yeah!
And why would you want that?
No, why, ew, why would I want that?
Why would you want to find me? What the fuck?
Reasons. So,
Oh no. I don't know them.
Lupus calls Luna to his office.
Huh? Luna goes to his office.
So once you are in Lupus's office, he waves you in. Come on, come on. Our proud blue dragon slayer and devourer. Lupus smiles. So I have a proposition for you that I think you might take some curious interest in. Although you're more than welcome to decline it if you don't feel it's for you. But I may have I may have figured out a way to essentially reattach the powers of the wind and ice crystals to people, provided that you defeat said god in one-to-one combat. And I was wondering if that would interest you in any capacity. And Lupus has a rather wicked smile on his face. You don't have to. It is purely an offer.
The wind and the ice crystals?
One of them, should you like that. I'm aware that you're only at this guild to find your friend Amethyst. And unfortunately, gaining these powers may mean that you end up having to stay here longer than you would like. But that is why I'm giving you the opportunity to either to basically walk away from it, should you rather be able to step free of the guild the moment you find out what happened to Amethyst and this whole mess is over.
me rolling a D20 to see what Luna would do, and me going 1 to 10 would be she would take the wind crystal. Above that would have been she wouldn't do it, because intelligent thought states probably not. But I'm not that intelligent, so let's go.
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 9. That is certainly an offer that I definitely was not expecting. Yes?
Lupus has a little smile on his face. Well, I will have to get in contact with Garuda, but I will give you a little bit longer to get just a small bit stronger. because you will have to fight her on your own. And I'm
Mhm.
aware that your projectiles may get. And Lucas does like an action with his hands that's like someone swatting arrows out of the air.
Ah.
Potentially. There was somebody else I was pondering suggesting the ice crystal for, but I'm holding out to see how they do and how they fare before I do anything else. You know?
Okie dokie.
But that being said, I do believe a certain harvest goddess was curious about having tea with one of your group. And I've decided that maybe sending yourself might be the right idea. Seeming as you do have a deep love of berries. Trust me, I caught onto that real quick when I saw you devouring part of the fruit bar.
Whoops. No, that's not really a whoops. I have no regrets.
I don't blame you, I do the same thing with the hash browns. And Lupus sits there smiling, thinking about the horde of hash browns that disappeared off the table that morning. However,
Talking about food is making me actually hungry. God damn it.
I know, say,
Oh!
I regret life choices. Anyway, so do I? Oh fuck it, this will be the time for it. So you are temporarily dismissed, and the time is taken in the evening for basically everybody to rest up, recover, especially for like the goddesses and Pendant,
Yee.
because my god.
Limo.
The
And
goddesses.
and as Ziffy is doing his rounds for the night, just to basically check the building, he notices that the door to the same room that the goddesses plus Cassandra, Karina, the old Crystal Heroes have been sleeping in, that the door is half open. Now, the rest of the Crystal Heroes are currently just, getting ready for bed before going back into this room, since it's literally just beds in there, plus some little portals back to little dimensions of theirs. But Ziffy, you notice that this door is half open.
I guess I will peep inside.
And as you peek inside, you notice that all of Cassandra's belongings are missing. Nothing is there anymore, including the little gemstone that was being used as an anchoring point for the portal for her to go back to Colaris. And you're aware, from when Lupus explained it to you when you made them, that they can only be shattered from the side you're currently standing on, so whilst within the guild. Because once you go through the portal, you cannot shatter it from the other side, as a sort of preventative safety measure should things go a bit tits up. Meaning that if Cassandra has shattered this gemstone, and she has taken all of her possessions with her, you've also not seen her or been able to find any trace of her within the building for the whole day. You do, however, find a eloquently written letter on her bed.
Okay.
And I'm presuming you're going up to open the letter and read it, yes?
Yes.
And as you read through it, you feel a sense of crushing dread fill you. And the little thought in the back of your mind It's a little intrusive thought, if you will, is you wish you'd pulled the trigger on her sooner. As within the contents of this letter, it mentions that she is, since she has fully disgraced herself, she has come up with an idea of how to fix the problem, but she has decided to follow this alluring voice that has been calling her out of curiosity to find out what it is. And you recall that same alluring voice having emerged once before within one of the early recruits that were part of one of the previous guild recruitment drives, as that is how you were notified of the Lilium Beast's emergence beforehand. 25 years ago, you have a vague memory of such a thing being recorded, and later finding that same guild member had vanished and re-emerged amongst the ranks of the Lilium Beast cultists. And the realization hits here. Cassandra has left, and you're pretty sure she has just changed sides, as there is no trace of her to be found.
Fuck's sake, Cass. Oh, he's gonna be so pissed. Zephyr will take the note and leave in a slightly panicked huff.
So, as this is happening, the rest of the Crystal Heroes are currently here, bar Lupus. So this is Marianne, Astra, Lilac, and Diana, and Gareth and Edith all approaching this room to get ready and go to bed. You see Ziffy storming off, looking rather miffed.
Ziffy doesn't appear to be too happy. Did he just come from our room?
I'd like to ask really quick, Ziff, did you leave the letter? Roll me a d20.
Probably, okay, I was gonna say probably not. It's probably gonna go straight to Lupus. It's an
What's the
8.
number? It's an 8.
Yes.
In your blind rage, you dropped it on your way out the door.
Ah.
So, ladies, and
Do we see it?
yes, you do.
Okay. Can we pick it up?
Yep. And I'm presuming you're reading it.
Mhm.
Read it out loud.
I'll read it out loud.
And so Marianne reads out loud the same thing that Zippy has just read and has gone to go and tell Lupus about. And whilst it doesn't make complete sense to you, you end up hearing Lupus's voice in your minds, as if he has managed to get there and explain the situation whilst this has been read. But yes, and Lupus's voice rings out clear in your minds. Yep, that is exactly what you think it is. God damn it.
I wonder if Marianne and Student 2 together.
More than likely, yes. I would imagine, Marianne may be a little bit slow, but I don't think she's that slow. I reckon
Okay.
she put it together a few seconds after everybody else. Meanwhile,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Shit.
you notice walking out of the guild room hallways is Orion. Who is just kind of walking. And you spot him. Are you going to acknowledge him in any way?
Might
Is
wait.
this the Crystal Heroes? Sorry.
Yes, this is
Uh,
still the Crystal
uh,
Heroes.
Orion?
Oh, pleasure to meet you all at this time of night. You all seem quite disturbed, or no, not disturbed, perturbed. That's the better word. Tell me, what has gotten you so riled at this time, this hour? He pulls out his book as though he's about to take notes.
Can we tell him?
Do you tell him? That is
No.
I'm asking the rest if we can.
No, just telling everyone else here what we were doing earlier. And also what I've been doing for the last few hours.
And Orion, without a second thought, just nods. Ah, well, I was going out for a walk. It is quite a lovely evening out, and I do intend to go and take some studies of the plant life here at night.
Insight check.
I was about to say, does Orion look suspicious?
Possibly.
Can
Why
I
don't
can I
you
insight him?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, green dice. You're my favorite one. Ooh, you are not my favorite one. Not anymore.
That
Uh-oh.
Insight. Or 20.
20.
A natural 5.
Ooh, so that's 20 insight, you say. Nope. That is...
Nope. I'm not seeing.
That would not
I'm
be
not
high...
seeing in. I'm not seeing out.
That would not be a high enough check to figure anything out past what you've already worked out, I suppose, the best way of wording it.
Out of character. So, Orion's been walking in the hall, yeah?
Yes.
In relation to where our room is, where's Group U's room?
Basically the other end of the building. So if I were to describe it, you've got the little entranceway. You've then got like the front desk / like mission posting room. There is then a long corridor that goes off to the left and right. The one going off to the left is where all like the big dormitory area is. And the one to the right is like a large collection of meeting and lounging rooms, one of which has been converted into the temporary bedroom for your team, as it were.
And so on the other end of the building, so the like entrance / exit from like the front entrance would be like what, halfway between?
Yeah, so I would imagine that you guys are like your room is kind of like right next, like maybe a couple of doors down from right where the connection from the right hallway to like the main entrance area is. So you are easy access, as I suppose will be the best way. So he's just making his way toward. From what you can see, Orion's kind of just making his way towards the front door of the guild. That's the only other location that you could really think of that would have a lot of plant life. Because most of the plants within the guild are all maintained by either a couple of the elites that have druidic / geomantic abilities, or it's self-maintained in that a lot of the architecture itself supports the wildlife. I can't think of the wording.
Would there be a way for me to cast a spell without anyone noticing?
It depends on what the spell is.
True seeing.
There's a question. On the same row that the true seeing spell is, does it say charisma or wisdom?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. No, you would not be able to cast that without it being noticed. Unless somebody covers for you. So unless somebody is intentionally covering it up, so you cannot be heard.
Do we still have the the stones from the fight, like, do
Yes.
Lilac... Astra's just gonna go, Lilac, could you distract for a moment? I'm gonna try and cast True Seeing. Something doesn't feel right. Why would he be on this side of the building?
And so Lilac proceeds to start communicating with Orion about you see Lilac start communicating to him about his research into the world weapons and asking a couple of interesting questions, giving you just enough time to cast True Seeing.
Do you need me to copy and paste what it does?
Nope.
Or do you... Okay, good.
It is essentially any illusory effects or things like that you'll be able to see through, etc. Yeah. So as you cast True Seeing, you see Orion. He does not appear. It does not appear to be any sort of doppelganger of any capacity. There's nothing visually wrong or incorrect. I am going to double check. I think Lupus has... No, it's not Lupus that has True Seeing, is it? It's Lilac, isn't it? Give me a second, I'm trying to remember the spell, but I can't be asked to open the page.
I could copy and paste it.
I want to make my own life difficult. There it is.
Dumb.
See things there. See for normal and magical darkness. Yeah, no. You do not see anything inherently wrong with Orion. There's nothing hidden about him magically. He has not changed forms, etc. Anyway, I shouldn't keep you up and waiting. I will be making my way out into the town. I do believe that there's quite an interesting type of plant I saw earlier, if memory serves correctly.
What?
And my lexicon.
One little question, Orion.
Yes.
You haven't been hearing voices, have you?
Orion holds his chin for a moment and ponders. No, I can't say I have. Although I have heard the sounds of Penton and Xanis trying to imitate small woodland creatures and failing horrendously. I must say it is quite an entertaining
Interesting.
thing to study.
That is weird.
I think it's Xanis trying to get Penton to use his illusory skills for making duck sounds or something like that, but I don't really pay much attention. I'm too busy reading or trying to get Kazaroth to help me understand more anomalies, but he doesn't seem that interested in my words. Anyway, I shall speak to you all later. I'm going to be missing the chance to catch any bioluminescence in action. And Orion leaves out the front door.
That kid is so weird.
Yeah, I don't understand him. It's just... something just doesn't sit right, but I can't quite put a finger on it. Nothing seems to be physically wrong. Unless he
maybe
was
we're just
lying
on-
about the not hearing.
I think we're
No.
just on edge because of the letter, honestly.
And so, I would like everybody to either go on mute or please maintain your quiet. Respectfully.
Do not press the V key.
Yes. So, Orion goes out into the town. And enters a small wooded area. Just off, so you've got the main path that leads up to the guild. Once Orion is certain that there is nobody watching, he goes immediately to the left into the small wooded area that is not too far from the main path, and stands in one of the nearby clearings. Okay, you called me. What do you want? And Orion has his grimoire open and an offensive spell ready in hand. As a figure, my words, the figure emerges from the bushes. Not exactly the most punctual, are you? I could hear your trotters from miles away. I do say you are quite the obnoxious bastard, aren't you? Coming out here to the guild that I am working with just to pursue me. Bastard. Now, I will give you one choice to make. You give us the research you have on Diamond Weapon, and stop researching the anomalies, and we will give you this girl. And Serenpass waves his hand, and for a brief moment is the image of a young woman that very similarly matches the description that Luna gave of her missing friend Amethyst, and you notice the necklace immediately. Sir, what will it be? I am too busy plotting my schemes and plots. My plots and schemes. Now, give up your research, or I will get rid of the girl. And Orion looks very conflicted for a moment. Well, that is a bit awkward. And I'm going to check. Orion reaches into his bag and throws down his research book that holds his life work researching Diamond Weapon and its appearance. The same book that was nearly stolen from him all those years ago when he was attacked. Very good. And from the forest, ripping her way out of a body bag, is Amethyst, who proceeds to run up to Orion, and what Orion does is basically mutters in her ear the directions back to the guild, before it leaves just the two of them in the clearing. And Orion gets himself ready for a fight. You little trotter, you think I'm going to fight you? No. Renvus, my son, please, if you would deal with the trash. And emerging from the bushes behind Orion is Renvus. More flesh for my skull throne. And he rolls to hit with the two-bladed sword in his hand. The unspoken ultimatum, which rolls a 227 to hit, and he swings with both hands on the weapon. Give me a few seconds. having to write out numbers. Okay. And as the weapon swings down, Renvus lands a critical hit, dealing 8,272 damage to Orion, instantaneously killing him. The weapon itself cleaves straight through Orion from the top right shoulder all the way down to his bottom left hoof. The two parts of Orion sliding off of each other, killing him instantaneously. And Renva, the crystal heroes / goddesses, you can hear this maniacal laughter echoing
Jesus
throughout the forest, like some unhinged, twisted monster. Just screaming out into the night. And this very scared looking young girl, this very terrified young woman, sprinting her way up to the guild, looking completely out of breath. Lupus is immediately summoned, and the rest of Group U enters the main reception area, having been woken by the sound as well.
What's happening?
And Luna, your eyes widen as you recognize the sight of Amethyst. The necklace immediately being a giveaway for you.
Amethyst?
Luna? What are you doing off of Canaria? And she collapses onto the floor unconscious without a second word. Lupus looks immediately panicked. Where is Orion?
That's just... He said he was leaving to go study a plant.
And immediately upon you saying the word leaving, Lupus sprints out the doorway, the rest of your sentence hanging on the air. And that is where you hear the clash of blades. After about 30 seconds of Lupus building, as Renvus and Serenpass are standing on the pathway leading up to the guild.
Of fucking course.
Oh my
supposed
god,
to-
what's going on?
Are we supposed to go help? I don't...
Why is there no
It's
gunshots?
probably.
Group U, are you going to exit the building to help? This is a question I must ask of each of you individually. Alec, in this moment, you are seeing Renvus and Serenpass together for the first time, the entire time you've been at this guild, two of the head cultists outside your front door. Are you going to meet them head on, or are you going to stay within the guild?
So can I see the fight go down from where I am?
yes, you can see Lupus clashing blades with Renvis while Saren Pass stands there looking completely unfazed.
Okay, cool. If it seems like he's gonna die, maybe I'll go help. But I do not want to go.
Okay, so your answer is no. Is
Mhm.
this your final response?
Yep.
Alice.
I'm gonna run to, I'm assuming there's like a window or something that you can see through.
You are
I'm gonna run
standing.
there,
You are
see what's
standing
going
in the
on.
reception. So
Okay.
your view of the fight is literally the front door to the guild. And nothing more.
Yeah, so I think she's probably gonna run up but stand a little bit behind Lupus.
Okay.
As of like back up, you know?
So that is your final answer. Alice will step out of the guild to join the fight. Yes.
What would Alice do? What would Alice do? Alice, what would you do? Let me roll my D20. And even numbers join the fight, odd numbers stay in the guild. We're staying in the guild. We rolled on a 9. Okay, Alice is wise. She's staying in the guild.
Okay. Luna,
Could I butt in and just go Astra first for a moment?
go for it.
The true seeing,
Mhm.
I imagine as we see all of this, has it revealed anything? Or is this actually Amethyst?
This is, in fact, Amethyst. And I need to ask, has Astra looked outside the building, or is she still trying to figure out... Like, is Lupus... Like, are you looking towards where... Sorry, I'm looking at the chat and... So, is Astra entirely focused on Amethyst, or has she looked out the building?
She would have looked down at Amethyst to see if it was actually Amethyst. So this is just some random person that has just collapsed in the guild. But then she'd look up and out of the door.
Okay, so the moment that you look up of the door, this very well-dressed, put-together man that everybody else is seeing, you are seeing what is essentially a decaying man. Bits of his body look like they're visibly rotting away, parts of his skeleton are exposed, and you're seeing the true Saren Pass, because he is currently under the effects of a polymorph spell that keep his body visually pieced together, which is not the case. He is very much not pieced together, as his body is rotting to pieces. Within full view.
Ew.
Very much the intent.
Well, damn. Shit. Maybe that's unfortunate. Would he be classified as undead?
Yes, he is in fact classified as an undead creature.
So, if I were to cast Full Cure,
It would not kill him, as he is still partly living.
okay.
He has basically he has been killed at least once whilst his phylactery has been a thing.
Okay, what the fuck do I do? This is for both Lunar and Astra now. What the fuck do I do? Shit, this is awkward. Is Lilac notifying the guild, or is he jumping in?
Lilac himself is currently back and forth on what to do. He seems visibly distressed, however, doesn't really seem certain of what to do with himself.
Lilac, that man is a lich. Help, I'm gonna get everyone else.
So, Lilac looks at you, but he is
He's falling
visibly
apart.
shaking. He's visibly like Lilac is visibly shaking. Yeah, yes, right. Forward!
So Astra's
And he sprints out. Lilac charges out of the guild, Reaper's Rose in hand, to join Lupus in the fight. And Renvis
Astra's
is pulling them
going.
both off at the same time.
Yeah, Astra's gonna be getting Ziff is going to be notifying the entire guild.
How quickly can you do that?
Well, how quickly can I do that?
'Cause I can tell Zippy now.
I would like to clarify, although I haven't copied their tokens over onto the map, but everybody apart from Kazaroth and Ankh are currently in this main reception. Sorry.
Everybody's
I
there,
probably
so
should have clarified that sooner.
that means Zippy's also
Yes.
helping. Okay.
Ziffy is currently in the reception, looking very groggy.
Ziffy, Renvis, and Serenpus are outside.
Yes, I can see that.
I'm gonna go find Ankh and Kazaroth.
I'd like to say that Zippy said that as he was running out the door, gun cocked and aimed.
I'm gonna go find Kazaroth and Ankh. If Marianne is following Astra,
Astra?
Marianne.
What's your AC?
My AC is 100 and something. 39.
I see. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Marianne, would you like to cover?
Do I know what from?
A shadow spell that is currently being thrown into the guild.
Yeah. I will
directly
like
at
to cover.
Astra.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yes.
good to know.
My AC is blah, 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 blah. I have my shield and everything, right?
Yep, you have everything on your person right now.
Okay, 185 right now.
Okay. Well, you are struck by an Abyss 2 spell that is slung through the entranceway of the guild. 2 seconds. Trying to find something. Because it's supposed to be active on my notes, but I haven't written down where it fucking is. Where are you? There it is. So, this bolt of powerful shadow magic launches straight through the entranceway, and it almost sounds as though it shatters the protective barrier that should be there. And the painful part of it is it seems as though this spell, the songbow that is currently in Serenpass's hand, that you recognize is it L? The Vieran characters of Unsung Malice are etched onto the part of the bow. You recognize some of these characters from where Vida has been trying to teach you Vieran. And you take 1,392 shadow damage. Do not apply your resistances, as they have been pierced.
Okay, 1,300 and...
I put it in
Something?
the chat.
92.
1,032, thank you. My resistances are only like 100, so it wouldn't make much difference.
But the word you hear shouted out to you, "Know this, pathetic wolves. You may not have your guild here now. We may not have our Lillian beast ready. But trust me when I say that you will die. Just like your little friend here." And the songbow is placed back onto his back, and he lifts up by the antlers both halves of Orion like some sort of war trophy before both him and Renvus vanish into this
Fucking
black-coloured
hell.
dust, leaving the two halves of Orion to slop back onto the floor.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I just want to make a point. I imagine Ash just shouted, "God fucking damn it!"
Yep. Understandable.
She
Oh,
will not apologise if she wakes anyone up, for the record.
And just a casual reminder that most of the guild groups that would normally be here have been dispatched in case that's something that people have forgotten. Meaning that the people...
Genuinely, I actually forgot.
It's okay. It's okay. I haven't made a big
Oh
point
yeah, I
of it.
definitely forgot.
But currently, within the entranceway, is Diana, Sarek, Astra, Karina, Mado, Marianne, Habez, Lilac, Edith, Gareth, Siphi, Andromeda, Unk, Kazaroth, Raxus, and the rest of Group U. That is not
When did
arrived.
Kazaroth and Unk get there? I thought you said...
They have just arrived. Just arrived on scene. The two of them arriving from opposite ends of the building, scowling at each other before seeing the black dust. Oh god damn it! I fucking missed the action. Oh, that's a dead body. And Kazaroth walks out of the building to the bisected remnants of Orion and just pokes it with his finger. You
Azeroth, don't.
met quite the grisly end. Well, I could try and revive you, but it appears you don't have a soul. And Kazaroth turns his head back to Edith. Sweetie dearest, it appears that your brother-in-law doesn't have a soul in his body. I can't revive him. What do? And Kazaroth just kind of tilts slightly, hands up.
Can we retrieve it somehow? If we were able to find it?
And Luke, after vomiting a couple of times, Gareth speaks up. Those fuckers have taken his soul. And Gareth leaves with Edith following very swiftly behind to try and comfort him. And Lupus basically looks down at what is left of Orion, and in a moment of desperation, you hear Lilac scream. And 2 seconds, trying to find the thing, as he desperately tries over and over and over again to cast Full Life in some sort of attempt to bring the remains back. As what Full Life should do is
Bring him back.
It should be able to revive things that have been killed by death effects, but it is incapable of bringing things back from the dead, such as, well, constructs and undead creatures that have not been converted. But then you start. Then Lupus makes mention of the fact that it looks as though what's left of him has been rapidly aged to the point where you would have, if it weren't for the fact that he was clearly in two parts, that you would have thought he would have died of old age, meaning that full life is completely ineffective. The strongest
Oh my
revival
God.
spell, access to any powerful white mage or healer like an astrologian, is completely useless. And in one final desperate attempt to try and bring back. Let me see real quick.
Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this one, Chief.
I'm trying to double check. Is that a large pair of glowing starlight wings emerge from Lilac's back as he tries desperately once more to cast Full Life, and Lilac begins to shed an extremely bright light. Astra, you are the only person current within the old party, and within the main cast that is not Ziffy, that understands Runic and can read it. And the rune that currently surrounds the ground below Lilac reads Eternal Beacon of Starlight. But nothing happens. He tries again, but
Lilac.
nothing happens. And this keeps going in a vicious cycle over and over and over again until Lilac completely exhausts himself.
Lilac.
And that is when
That's just. Oh, what?
that is when Lilac collapses. As
The
Astra,
fuck?
I'm imagining Astra is moving forward to try and.
Oh yeah,
stop
she
him.
was yeah.
The moment that your hand makes contact with him, he seems to pass out.
I go pick him up. You're
And
my
so-
friend now.
We're having soft tacos later. Sorry, I had to.
No.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Anyway,
So. Lilac
Bruce
is carried
goofing
back
around, a
inside.
loser has just died.
by the way, as Astra walks,
Did you
starts
just say a
carrying.
loser has died?
Oh my god!
Oh my god, you savage! Jesus! I mean, I can't say shit, I just soft tacoed him on a guy, but
You just killed him.
I did. That is a thing I just did.
Astra's gonna take before taking Lilac. I don't know where to take him, either to medbay or to his bed. Is gonna look down at Orion before walking away.
So, you return back to the guild. And as you do so, the thought occurs in your mind that it was a clean, like, for those of you that were close enough to see the body, it was a perfectly clean cut. Whatever took Orion out, all it took was one strike. A singular hit. Nothing more. So. Quiet returns to the guild.
Question: would anyone have noticed if anyone was missing from Orion's body? Obviously hinting at the book here, because obviously
What the his
Orion,
research?
obviously, yeah, his research books. Would anyone have noticed that they would have been missing? Like, does he even have his spell book at the moment, or whatever? His grimoire,
No.
sorry.
His grimoire was not on his person. And neither is his research. Or any of his notes. Or like his copy of the reports. None of his copies of the reports are there either. And within those reports include what Lupus had designated as the party's next mission. To go to Levias. Meaning that the cult, if you are to draw the correct conclusions, the cult now has knowledge of where your next mission will be.
Oh god.
We're
so fucked.
By the
It's
way,
not gonna
after
be always
Astra
sunny in
puts Lilac to bed, Astra is gonna go find Lupus. And I feel like an emergency conversation is needed. Emergency meeting.
Okay.
Oh god, that's another fucking Among Us reference. Oh, for
It
fuck.
is.
Mug-
So.
Among Us.
So, tragic character death and then just Among Us memes. Yes. This is peak D&D. Oh my god. Okay, right. So you go to see Lupus. Who looks a little bit shell-shocked, but looks up at Astra as she enters. Well, I guess you could see what I've been having to deal with.
Well, the last few hours have just made everything go downhill so fast. I did not expect it, and I am mad with you.
Lupus raises his eyebrow. What?
I and the rest of Edith and the others, as we were heading back into our room, we encountered Orion before he left, as I already mentioned. Oh, Marianne has the letter from Cassandra.
I was told.
Is she?
Yes.
She defected.
She has been reclassified as a #1 priority on our kill list. The moment that she is spotted, she will meet her end. The moment that she is sighted.
Do we know if she's 100% defected to
Yes.
the cult? Then she knows all of the locations of the heirlooms.
She does. And that is why I've taken the liberty Lupus waves his hand at like a mannequin stand that he normally puts his armor on, that just conveniently happens to have all of the magic gear that was repurposed from Fele to Cassandra, that has been altered once more. That is why I took the liberty of replicating what she had from Fele, so she didn't leave with what pieces of her we had left. I might not like her or care for her in any capacity, but I'm not allowing somebody to sprint away with what remnants were left of somebody that everybody else gave a fuck about. But you're not here to listen to that, are you?
What's the plan?
Same as always.
Obviously,
Survive. You see, this is what I was trying to spare you all from. The heartbreak, the pain, the suffering. This is what the last 50 years of my life have been. Do you understand now why I couldn't tell you? Do you understand now why I chose to let you continue to live, blissfully unaware of the pain and suffering that I was protecting you from? Not to mention the number of attempts on your life that Hades has made to deal with his true nemesis, which we won't even begin to delve into that. But do you understand now how much of a threat these people pose? I can't fight them on my own. Believe me, I've tried. And you know what that ended up with? Lupus waves to his arm scar.
oh,
Do you remember this? From when we fought Lilith. Together. The Crystal Heroes. This. Scars. Pain. Suffering. We fought her. We won. Barely. Marianne nearly died in the process. Fele nearly died in the process. Eugene threw himself off the side of the place that we were fighting Lilith to try and save, in some vain hope of saving Fele. This is what life has been for years. I will be putting my faith in you, and I'll be putting my faith in the others, as I will be going with Group U, and taking them on my airship that that Sid built for me years ago, to go and see Norik. There is... Lupus takes a moment to ponder his next words. Well, I'm not sure if you met him, but Judge Tarek said a friend of his from Mistos was coming to lend a hand. Another sword arm for our protection, if you will. She will be arriving in the next couple of days. And once she has arrived, I will be going to see Norik once more.
okay.
Which means that I will be entrusting the safety of the guild and yourselves to yourselves. Not exactly the most elegantly worded thing, but there is not much else that I can say at this point.
Mm.
Lupus places his hand upturned on the table, and looks at Astra. Not expectantly, but as if he is judging what her reaction will be.
Astra's gonna put her hand onto Lupus's. I have faith in you, Lupus. You test my trust and my patience far too often. Please stop doing it. Please. But I do have faith.
And you're certain this faith is not misplaced. Can you truly look at me and say that you believe that I'm going to be able to do anything? Do you look at me and truly believe the words that you say?
Well, if you don't do anything, then we're gonna have a real big problem.
Lupus lets out a very half-hearted laugh. Yes, I gathered that. That's not the hard part. I'm very keenly aware of just how complicated things are now. Believe me, I have unending understanding of that one.
So, what do you think of that amethyst girl that appeared?
Well, it's the reason why Luna is here. So, understandably, she will
Do
be
you not
given
think-
protection.
Hmm.
And as
It
for-
was.
Sorry.
Was it not said that she was something to do with Renverse?
Yes, I do believe. Well, it wouldn't be the first time they've done it, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if they were intending to use this amethyst girl as a bargaining tool. They've done it before. They did it with Name. They did it with. They tried to do it with my own child, and I doubt it will stop them. Now, focus for a moment. This might sting a little, but...
My guy.
And Lupus, you feel Lupus's claws dig into your wrist slightly, and your arm lights up with this runic patterning. And you read the words Freezer Burn. I believe that'll be of use to you. And yes, before you ask, I did just teach you one of the runes from a different crystal.
I knew that you were able to use all of the crystal runes. This I was not expecting.
Lupus smiles. Well, that's the thing. It's not exactly difficult to imprint certain runes onto those with applicable ability. You are a goddess of the harvest. Water, earth, light. Shouldn't be too difficult. The same with Diana. I'm sure she'd be
Shit, fuck, sorry.
I'm sure Diana would be more than capable of learning a lot of her second cousin's runes, a lot of Fele's stuff, and possibly some of Karina's, since she is now very much affluent in the words of ice and darkness. Marianne, I'll have to try and educate her a little bit more, but who knows? Maybe Ifrit will stop blueballing her with her abilities and actually give her something useful. Either that or I can start teaching her. It shouldn't be too hard. Eventually. And before things end, so Lupus and Astra proceed to have a rather relaxed conversation, talking about basically Lupus describing to Astra some of the uniqueness of his abilities and what he has compared to her. And as the group settles down, Penton, you have a dream.
Okay.
And in this dream, you are met face to face with someone that you didn't think you'd be seeing for a long time. He is on all fours, sandy furred, black robes. Half of his face is a fleshy, ripped mess.
Good God, what's happened to you?
And his blind, pupilless eyes look to you. Did I really mean nothing to you?
No, I just said that to hurt you. Because I thought you wanted to hurt me. And
No.
you told me to defend myself.
My dark hunger is what drove me to turn you into one of my undead thralls. I can't eat undead flesh, and therefore my intent was to save you from my fate.
See, I thought you were going to turn me into a trophy.
That shows how much you value people. I am no longer capable of controlling my body. It's gone feral. I can only control my mind now. And even then, it is restricted at the best of times.
Well, for what it's worth, it's nice to actually talk to you again.
I need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
When it comes time to put me down again, please do not destroy my phylactery. Ankh was right. Purification is the only way to stop the hunger.
So we can save you.
Yes. I have been able to escape this pain for so long. I hunger for something that will not hurt me anymore. And Ankh was right, and I chose to ignore him. And those blank white spheres almost seem to focus on you with an intensity that, because you are fully aware he's blind, the image in your mind flashes past of where you gouged his eyeballs out with your thumbs, and a small pang of guilt strikes through you, as you realize that your actions are now the reason why he is blind. I am assuming they've found you.
Of those two?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. I don't have the words to describe what I saw.
I am somewhere dark and empty. Tell me, Penton, did I ever tell you what drove me insane? What broke me beyond belief?
You never told me anything about you.
How I first discovered the dark hunger. When I was about your age, maybe a bit younger, I was having some intense pains in my stomach, and so I went to the apothecary in hopes of finding something that would dislodge this foul ailment from my belly. And what came out of me? 2 lockets that interconnected. And when you put them together, they opened. to reveal a photo of a happy family. My parents. And me. I ate them, Penton.
God.
And there are tears of blood coming out of Mace's eyes. I ate them. And I couldn't do anything about it. I'm a monster. And I need you to save me. Save. And the mace figure in your dream vanishes.
I'll see you soon, old friend.
And you drift back into a comfortable sleep. Surprisingly undisturbed by the imagery that you just witnessed. And that is where we're going to end the session. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye!